Good morning, everyone. This is Talking Chi with Javi. And we have Tony Khalife in the house, again, becoming my reoccurring host while my partner does her community duties, teaching the kids at the school. And today we're going to be talking about the Bhakti Fest happening June 1st. And I believe we're talking about, amongst other things, the energy of devotion. Remember, if everything is made of energy, we have a lot to discuss. Let's get into it. Gentlemen, good to see you today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ranjit. Yes. Well, it's good to be here again. It's truly an honor to be on KMUD, and especially with you, Javi, and sharing our talks over the past year. And so I'm really delighted to share now the relationship between Qi and devotion and prana and all of that, and how it becomes a part of our living structure. And we have Ranjit Jimbox here with us, who's becoming a really dear friend and a total supporter of Bhakti. He's been an Amma devotee for quite some time. Ranjit, you want to give us a little lowdown on your participation?
Good morning.
Good morning.
And go ahead and pull that closer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning. I'm Ranjit Jimbox, and I've lived in the Humboldt Nation behind the Redwood Curtain here for 50 years now. Mm-hmm. And Bhakti, what a concept. I'm excited to be befriending both Javi and Tony, and we're bringing some most powerful, uplifting. I hope that those in attendance will be uplifted in a vortex of love.
Oh.
And in this kind of unsettling times, where we're all kind of seeking something solid, love is the answer. And it is the tie that binds. It's what brings us together. It's what lifts us up. And it invites us to soar to the heavens. And come on down to the Bhakti Fest and let's suffer this together.
Let's go over the details and let people know the when and the where, and then we'll talk about the why.
Yeah. Well, it was really Ranjit's original idea, and when I'm new to Southern Humboldt, as you know, Javi. I've been here for a few years, and Ranjit came out to our Kirtan that we do on the land, and he's become a really totally close friend, and he's been wanting to help me out being out in the world and bring my music a little further. So he suggested we do some kind of a conglomerate of all of us that are here, devotional human beings who have been in from a combination of Southern Humboldt and Northern Humboldt, and bringing the two together, and at a fabulous place that we all know, which also Javi, Beginnings, and it really really is coming together really nicely. We got the most fabulous Kirtanwalas in Humboldt County to join us, and we've been on upstream of promoting and going out and trying to bring in a much more unified concept of devotion, and so that's what's in store. And it's called Soham Bhakti Day Fest. And it's one day. It starts at noon, and it finishes around 9. And there'll be also program for kids. And Javi is really our pioneering kids program, and and you'll be doing the ninja games along with whatever games you like to bring, and and so forth. And we have yoga as well come in. We have a couple of classes of asanas, and we have a fabulous food presentation by the Ayurvedic school and by Tracy Webb, and this all these details Ranjit will fill us in deeper.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, Tracy Webb of Ayurvedic Living is going to provide the finest traditional Ayurvedic meal. Okay. Now, one thing that I tried to convince my mother of for decades was that dessert needed to be served first. And within the Ayurvedic tradition, dessert is served first.
Oh.
So,
most excellent. Right up my alley.
There we go. So we're going to have basically a cultural. We intend to offer a cultural experience of the Indian Vedic Hindu tradition, both in the practice of bhakti yoga, or the yoga of devotion or love. Love is all, she said. And it's something, empathy and sympathy really seems to be something missing from modern American culture at this time, and we're literally dying to revive this upliftingness. Okay, so please come and celebrate. Let's lift each other up. We can only do this together. This isn't a practice. Of course, there are practices that you can do alone. But any practice that we do, as in chanting together, is amplified dramatically. It joins us with the bhakti tradition of, 10,000 years. And so we're not alone. And we hope not to be feeling alone. And we require each other to move beyond where we're at this time.
Oh.
Let me ask you, okay, so some terms that folks may not be familiar with, definitely myself. So I've experienced some Kirtan. Let's let folks know what Kirtan is. Let's let folks know what Bhakti is, and then Ayurvedic culture, medicine, what have you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the term Bhakti means supreme devotion, and it is the part of yoga that relates to living in the heart and having a heart expansion into the capacity to be able to embrace all living beings through the oneness of the divine and the supreme being. And it is mostly done and propitiated through song. And that form of singing in bhakti there are many different layers, but the one that's closest to people is called Kirtan, a kirtan is a way of reciting the divine name, in which there are thousands and thousands of attributes to the divine name in the Hindu culture. It's reciting the divine name through song and through a call and response way. So the kirtanwala, which would be the kirtan leader, would sing the line, and the people will respond similarly, and then it kind of it grows into a more refined experience as you keep chanting, because the part of the kirtan is repeating the same name over and over again, and every time that name is repeated, there is a heightened part of the experience that comes in. It's like every time you do it anew, and it restarts in you, and then there's a progression of a pace as well, and as the pace accelerates, then the devotion gets a lot more energized. And also, most of the time we encourage people to sing, even though if they don't have the way of kind of relating to the words or understanding or kind of getting exactly how to pronounce the word, but these syllables and these names, the names of gods and goddesses in the Hindu tradition, they have such a powerful energetic attribute, and they can, just the vibration, the sound vibration of the names, they really don't have any secular, attributes of any sort. So the consciousness is heightened by just reciting them without even understanding the meaning, because they hold such tremendous pure vibration. They are the purest of vibration, really. And then we encourage people to clap and dance and move with the energy, because that also reinvigorates the heart and brings in lightness and joy into the being. And I mean, as you know, Chi is breath. Chi is prana. The word for chi in Hinduism is prana, and the most heightened experience of prana is through pranayama, and pranayama is the use of breath as a practice. And when you are singing, you are using the breath, and then you yourself become the instrument, because you are bringing that sound out of you, so that you become the total instrument of vibration. So that whole thing is no longer just breathing, it becomes breathing through vibration. And so there is a level of transmutation that happens. You go beyond the body. So a lot of the bhakti experience is about transcending your own self and getting really, really elated and elevated through song, through vibration, through surrendering to a sacred syllable, and through this association with the world as well.
We usually talk about Qigong. We usually talk about Tai Chi here and the energetics. This is very aligned with Qigong, right? As a general term, Qigong is the work or the play with energy. And the schools, there's 4 schools: medicinal Qigong, scholar Qigong, martial Qigong, and spiritual Qigong. And this very much aligns with the spiritual aspect of Qigong. And it's very interesting, because we say that then with that Qigong, 5 regulations exist. There's the body regulation, the breath regulation, the mind regulation, and the spirit regulation. And the spirit's the most ethereal, and the regulations must be present and cultivated for the spirit to regulate. And so it starts with the body movement, having a cyclical movement that's done repetitively over and over and over again, so that you check that off the box, and then that the body becomes the vessel in that way. And then the breath regulation is aligned with the body. And typically when you're moving cyclically, it starts to automatically, move the blood, and then consequently the lungs start to pump. And so you then start to align those. And then the mind, in terms of monitoring both of those things, movement and breath, starts to come into play. And then I like to say that that's like the Qigong triad, those 3 components coming together, in which now the energy can start to circulate, move, and then I would say that over time, this then becomes a spiritual practice, a spiritual movement, regulating the body, regulating the breath, regulating the mind. And the mind, I guess, brings in the name. The mind, is sort of the general, that the puppeteer, if you will, sings the song, claps the hands, moves the feet, and orchestrates, if you will. I guess it could be argued that the spirit comes in and becomes maybe the orchestrator, that I guess that's up for the individual to articulate. But I would say, this is very aligned with Qigong work as a general sense, in a broad sense, and from that perspective of the spiritual Qigong efforts. Very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said. I would like to add that in my study of ancient world spiritual traditions is that there is a sharing of breath. Okay, and with all this talk about prana and chi, it's like the breath of life. We're actually sharing the very air that we're taking in and out with each other. And I think that's really significant, considering the importance of the prana, life's breath. Huh?
Right. And these chants have been around for thousands of years, and anytime you are present in a vibrational concept, and you're not alone on the planet doing this. It's happening simultaneously, and so far in the United States, it's been happening a lot. We have a lot of people who are conducting kirtan and chanting on a regular basis. But in India, you can imagine you have millions and millions of people on a daily basis doing chants. So, as they call it in the Akashic records, all the vibration that we've been putting out, and as we become the instrument ourselves, we are co-merging with also all the other vibration that's happening at the same time. Similarly to what we did with the Tai Chi Qigong Day, and we merged our vibration with everyone that's doing it on that day, and so in that concept, you are really enhancing the spiritual magnitude of vibration. The more you sing, the more you become. The word elated is really what comes to mind, because it lifts you above the mundane. It lifts you above everything that is kind of conducting you to stay down. I mean, you are grounded in sound, but your mind is much higher. Your being, your soul, you're fully present in that being. As you say, the spirit starts to talk through you. You become the instrument. So you're no longer the body, and you're no longer the mind. You're the immortal self, as they say in the Vedas.
I grew up Catholic and Christian, and I would say that some of my Christian friends would be a little scared to hear some of this. I fall back though on my Qigong instruction, my meditation practice, and there's a couple of threads here. I want to remind folks this is KMED Redwood Community Radio. This is Talking Chi with Javi. We're talking with Ranjit and Tony Khalife, and we're talking about the energy of devotion today, and going over what's going to happen at the Bhakti Fest. What's the date? June 1st?
Correct.
June 1st at beginnings from noon to 8. And so one of the things that comes to mind, I think, Ranjit, that you brought up was the Tony, you said the transcendence of the mundane, and then Ranjit, you brought up this communal aspect, and we're having sort of this resurgence of indigenous culture, indigenous practices, and whatnot, and we find with a lot of indigenous practices, the music and the dancing of the whole community, what I envision is sort of around the fire, right? And so interestingly, despite what's going on in the community, the nuances of all the things of the things of the things, and the people of the people, everybody has this thing where they all come together and they do one thing. And as you said, when they're dancing and when they're drumming and when they're all aligned, there's this communal aspect where everybody does this one thing. And I feel like that in and of itself is transcendent on many levels, in the sense that, well, everybody's aligned, everybody's doing the same thing. It's moving the blood of the body, so there's this cardiovascular thing. It's regulating breath, so automatically it's going to be moving energy, it's going to be moving chi, and then you have obviously you could do that individually on your own, but once you have everybody with you and you're included and everybody is included, there's this element, I think, of health that's sort of missing, I think, in the Western paradigm, where there's a communal activity that brings in the movement, the dance, and then this brings in the chanting and singing, so that vocal chakra and that vocal zone comes into play. But this notion of community group activity where everybody's doing the same thing seems to be a health component that's sort of needed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to touch back on the Christian background that you were speaking of earlier, when Jesus said, "When two or more gather in my name, I am there, I am present." I mean, that is so highly obvious when you are chanting. You definitely, when there's a community, then there's so much more than the personal that's happening. There is the collective, and everybody's holding the space for everybody else, and the magnitude of that presence becomes multiple X's. It's no longer just a part of the person's trying to reach the divine or trying to reach outside of themselves to meet a greater energetic. They have been completely supported and utterly supported by the group that is surrounding them and present together.
Yeah. I would like to mention that, and we're talking about the similarities and differences between world religions, and that many Christians are confused about the gods, so many gods and goddesses in the Hindu tradition. If you analyze it closely, it's actually monotheistic. Okay, it's very trickified for Christians to grasp this, but Amma, my teacher, has a way of just simplifying super complicated stuff in like 5 words or less. And when asked about this, she said simply, some people like elephants. So, and if God is in everything, God's in the elephant and this microphone and the air that we breathe. So consider the possibility of that and opening up to I have personally found a lot of joy and upliftment in like emphasizing the similarities of, say, religious traditions, and then kind of put the differences on hold, and we'll look at the similarities, and there's a whole lot of similarities. Just find expression in very different ways.
Yeah, but I think everybody is looking for the same thing in a different way. Everybody is looking to make a connection with that which is greater than oneself. And we try continuously to strive for that. And some of us rely on something that is already existing and have familiarity with, and that can be a nice connection, an immediate connection, and they find their devotion there, and that's really commendable. And some of us are on the edge of what we are seeking, and we go a lot of different places, and we try to find different connections with different things. But ultimately, the highest goal for all living beings is to touch that divine presence, is to touch that heightened state of being of oneself, so that one can feel tremendous joy, can feel tremendous upliftment and peace, and can be healthy in the body. And the search for spiritual truth is an incredibly healing aspect of the human experience, because there's nothing more dismal than thinking that you're alone and you have no power in the world, and there's nothing that enables you to transcend yourself. So
this theme seems to be coming up, and I think people can resonate from all walks of life, the need to transcend the mundane. But I think essentially folks are looking for that reunification, right, with essentially what is, I would say, what's most real, but also what's most at peace, where you find your most peaceful self, where you find your most rested, relaxed, and your origin, and also your destination.
No.
Right.
And being grounded to earth, being barefoot on the ground, outside, being in the trees, that's one of the highest, most greatest spiritual experiences and body experiences simultaneously.
I believe that this is a cultural gift that's available to us, and that absolutely, totally, utterly complements the community that has formed in southern Humboldt. The K-Mud.
Right?
K-Mud, huh? Like, we needed communication, and it's like Seva. It's all volunteer, Most special.
Someone just asked, we have a caller on the line, and before we get them on, go over a little bit of the schedule of events for that day.
The lineup, yeah.
The lineup, sure.
Well, here we go. We plan to start. We're going to have a opening ceremony, which is traditional to have opening and closing to kind of acknowledge the connection of the loop. And then the first group up would be Seabury Gould and Cody Beers, who Seabury does Kirtan. He's been to India a number of times. He speaks a couple of different dialects. He's got a very polished, pedantic kind of presentation. He's been a teacher of music and children for 35 years or something, and I've asked him to start because he's can clearly communicate these concepts and speak of them directly, and I think that would be something I'd recommend. We really encourage everybody to be there for the opening ceremony, so that we're joined from the very beginning to the very end. We're in this together. We're co-creating.
Mahu.
That's at noon or 1 or noon?
Noon.
Okay.
So at like 12 to maybe 12:30, we'll have the opening ceremony, and then after which would be Seabury and Cody, and then we changed the lineup here a little bit,
and then we get Lisa and Shemaya going after Seabury and Cody.
Exactly, and Shemaya's been up in Arcata, and she operates out of Om Shala for several decades now.
She's a total icon,
Yeah, and Lisa and Shemaya, I'm here to tell you, I've heard some rather celestial harmonies coming out of these two women. When they nail it, you got to come and experience it.
Yeah. The nameless.
And then we have Eliam Aquarian and his Kirtan band, and friends. There's going to be a lot of mix-up amongst these groups. We're all in love with each other, and we're gonna play kind of together nicely.
Yeah, everybody will be joining. I think Colby would be doing the most playing because he's the designated tabla player for the event, so he'll be joining almost everybody in the band.
We're going to try to schedule a break-in so he don't wear his fingers out there. And then we have Lieb and friends.
Yeah, Lieb Ostro, who's local Southern Humboldt County here.
Yeah, music for little people and all of that. And
correct.
He and Tony and Damien.
Damien, hopefully, yes.
Yeah, he's got a fire training that runs until late, so we kind of schedule him later in the day.
And it's good to have him just in case we light the place on fire with devotion.
Yes, indeed. The fire department's right next door, so that might be helpful.
Very nice.
All right. And then it will be Skywater Kirtan Band.
Well, we have also the sitar player that.
I'm
Nicholas,
sorry. Yeah.
And there'll be a moment of traditional classical Indian music, instrumental, so that we can give everybody's
The
voice
tabla
a
and
little
kirtan, or the tabla and
Sitar.
Sitar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, indeed. So that'll be Nicholas Urbina, or Nico Urbina and Colby. And
And then
then
we're going to take a break then to do our meal,
Yeah.
our very fabulous Ayurvedic living meal.
The meal has been rather trickified. We jumped all over the map with it, but it will be fabulous food. There's no doubt about that. We'll be serving from approximately 3:30 to 6:30, but we do plan to take like an hour break where there's no music, where we could kind of chat it up with the musicians and get nourished and maybe take a little walk and that type of thing. And then afterwards, we'll have the two finales. We'll have the Skywater Band, and then also Tony will be.
That's me.
Yeah, Tony. And I've been blessed to be around world-class musicians for 35 years. I was the front cameraman for Reggae on the River in the 90s, and since then I've worked with a number of different other genres, world-class musicians. And then I met Tony, heard him playing his guitar, and wow, I'm here to tell you, this guy got some licks. This guy's got some licks. Like, you got to come. He's a world-class guitarist. He won Best Guitarist in Lebanon.
That's because I was the only guitarist alive.
Well, I'm sure that's not the case. And this guy, I mean, I'm in awe of his ability to hit. Okay, there's a series of nuclear clocks around the Earth that keep us in sync, and there's one in several in the United States, but. Then there's Tony Khalife. When they want to know, in Lebanon what time it is, they call him up. He gives them a couple licks. His timing is impeccable.
Oh, wow!
Both with the
Love
drumming
this.
and the guitar part of it. So bring your most accurate clock device and set it up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gentlemen.
I'm not even joking.
Well, let's bring in the caller. Caller, thanks for patiently waiting.
I say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
It was fun listening to your rap, and it's a full solid story. Your rap, because I mean, I hung out with some really good people, musicians. Toots and the Maytals? Toots and Hibbert? Yeah. And they are the guys. I did security for like 15 years right there in the river.
Okay.
Yeah. And that.
Now, if that isn't a love fest, I don't know what is.
Pardon? The thing is, I did security, and I learned how to pick and choose. There were some good people, and then others. And that is a true story.
I hope you didn't have to tackle somebody to the ground throughout those 15
You know,
years.
the funny thing is, there was only one time, like 15 years, only one time, I had to call in the sheriff's and go, a guy was going up. He was on some sort of drug. And I'm going, okay, take that guy out. No one took me out. No one. And I'm still here.
Hey, thank you so much for your participation in the upliftment.
And the thing is, though, going to Vietnam, and there I was there going, okay, is someone going to attempt to pick on me? That is a funny story. It happened more than one time in my life. Back in Vietnam. still here. Thank you for your radio program, the stuff you. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
My pleasure.
I just want to let folks know, if you're just tuning in, it's 9:37. You got to tune in the mud. We've got 69 degrees outside the studios here, and the show is Chi Talks. I'm Javi. I'm here with Tony and Ranjit. We're talking about Bhakti Fest, and you just went through the lineup. So, a caller called and they wanted to get the schedule of events and the lineup. And so, okay, I'm getting a little clearer sense now of how this festival goes. So you have a lineup of musicians. However, you want a continuous play of music that's happening, so that the people that are dancing and they're singing and chanting can have a continuous music to align themselves with.
Correct.
I see. Okay. Got it.
And then also, your participation, Javi, you are in charge of all the children that are coming to the event. So, we love the idea that you're bringing and would love for you to talk about it a little bit, so that people will be inspired to bring their kids to the event, because part of it is children have the most innocent, and they are the closest to spiritual truth and the divine. And and to keep them engaged, you are bringing your ninja games, right? And
I am friends with a ninja. And I'm aware that there was a visit by a ninja recently to the Skyfish school, to the kindergarten class, and the ninja showed up with his drum. His drum, the drum he was waiting for.
I have a sneaking suspicion I know who that ninja is.
Yes, and some ninja story time, and also some ninja yoga. So some of the kids, if their parents come and bring them, they will already be acclimated to some ninja breathing. We did some ninja breathing with a drum. Doom, doom. So that I think this sort of aligns, with the devotional, practice.
Shamans of every tradition have a drum, right?
That's it.
The drum is the beat.
Yeah, something about the drum that's calling to me. But yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, the ninja did some drumming and breathing with the kindies, and then we flowed into some yoga asanas, and then did some sitting, some silent sitting, and it was great. So we'll be doing those things amongst some ninja course, cargo net climbing. We got some rings for ring hanging. There's a short zip line setup that I can also.
The zip line.
The zip line that I can also put up. We'll be having also fun games, just fun group kid games that'll be played. And I have my little child archery set, the child axe throwing setup as well. Yeah.
Which I tried, I think, at the Qigong day, and it was really fun to throw the axe and the ninja stars.
The ninja stars as well,
and the bow and arrow.
Yes,
that was really fun. I didn't do the zip line, but
we didn't have it set up. We didn't have it set up that day, but yeah, maybe this time you'll get to try it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's there's something for everybody, and the most special part of this is that we're making great effort to provide a comprehensive cultural experience, and everybody's included and welcome, and there's a lot of depth and width being provided. We're not just having one little thing. We're having like a whole lot of little things that add up to a much bigger thing.
Right, and we have a few vendors also come in, and we have a yoga class or two by Nari Devi from Standing Wave Yoga, And
Stephanie Andrews from the Hive out in she will be supplying, as well as many participants will be bringing in Asian rugs and Indian and Afghani rugs, and to Allison, my partner, who has helped start Beginnings. Her vision is that when people step into the octagon, they get like uplifted just from the decoration, you know. So we'll have some wonderful saris draped here and there. Shemaya has built like several thousand altars in her life, and she's very well equipped. And Nietzsche or Gina J. Ma will also. She's a wonderful designer. She'll have some little mosaic altars there as a vendor, and then some Stephanie's rugs will be for sale, as well as small Afghani altars, of a larger size. Steve Quartermain from Ferndale will be coming with hat bands and beadwork bags, and I have to get back to 3 different vendors this morning. So it's like picking up. We are making an effort due to the unique acoustics of Beginnings. We're wanting the meals and the vending to be happening outside. You know, it's a sacred space we're creating. It can get really rather noisy with the acoustics, so we want to really feature the sacred music aspect and ask people if they need to chat it up to step outside and enjoy the sun. And another thing, we're having some issues around accepting money through.
Let's bring that in. You know, ticketing and the difficulty of purchasing tickets, and also. Before we say this, I'd like to say, would like to let people know that nobody will be turned away. You know, no one will be turned away, and also, you know, the pre-sale tickets that are happening that I've tried to kind of do on my website are facing a little bit of a challenge. A lot of people are having a hard time completing the transaction. And I'm not sure why. And also the other thing that we will be facing in the day of the show is there is no Wi-Fi at Beginnings, and there will be no way of accepting credit cards. So the idea that cash is king is...
cash is king in Southern Humboldt.
Yeah, totally.
Still is.
So we just want to encourage people to show up and bring cash, bring whatever cash they have. They can pay more if they want. They're encouraged to pay less if that's the case. But no one will be turned away. We're really trying. We're calling in the troops on this. We're calling everybody. We want to start an event here that we can do yearly. Maybe get to the point do it biannually, and that can unite, you know, North Humboldt with Southern Humboldt in a devotional way, in a creative way, and a collaboration, so that, you know, there's that inner changing of culture and vibe that's happening, and then we don't feel like we're.
And it's an opportunity to feature some of the most beautiful aspects of community of Southern Humboldt. You know, to model something that's kind of missing most everywhere.
And let folks know what that price of the ticket is going to be,
okay,
or what the scale is.
We have a pre-sale ticket at $25, and the pre-sale meal would be $15, and then tickets at the door would be $30, and the meal $20. And we've
we're getting the highest, most organic ingredients for the meal. So the meal is basically the biggest expense of the event. So that's why the price it is where it's at, and it's going to be a few course meal, you know. So and definitely
here's
prepared by the highest with the highest vibration. And
Indeed.
Can you talk about the meal?
Yeah, now we're talking. We're going
okay,
to have
let's do that.
spinach paneer, coconut veggie curry, dal soup, raita probiotic yogurt condiment, cilantro mint chutney, and 2 different kinds of desserts, a kheer, which is a sweet rice, and halva, rice farina sweet. So it's going to be a fabulous meal. We plan to serve the dessert first, earlier in the day, and the kitchen will be open for quite a while. We're going to take an hour break, and we'd like people, if you get hungry, you can come and get a meal earlier. And we'd like to spread out the serving aspect of it, so it doesn't.
We'll also have coffee and tea and snacks,
chai.
And cookies and chai. Yes, and
Our PD, the Hanuman Chai Wala, will be. He's made thousands of batches of chai. He'll be making a batch for us to share, and so we'll have coffee, we'll have lemonade, water, etc.
This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that the everybody's participation and collaboration will make this event as high of vibration as possible.
So this usually happens in up north somewhere on a yearly basis, or
No, it's never happened up north, has it?
There hasn't been like a we calling it a day fest and not get Bhakti Fest is probably patented or whatever there.
But so
Sridhar, we don't want to have an issue with him. But anyway, one thing about this Soham. Now, when Amma first came, she sang what she would call a bhajan, Soham, Soham, we are one. And I thought, boy, she's got this song and she's singing about Humboldt. This is the first time she's here. But so what does Soham mean, Tony?
Soham means I am that I am. And, it is one of the most sung Vedic mantras. And in reverse, it's Hamsa, which is the swan. And the swan represents the ultimate stillness in the water and grace. So I am that I am, and so with Soham has a very
Right.
spiritual attribute. So that's why we feel like there's so much magic in Soham.
Little did we know when we moved here. Huh?
That's so interesting. It takes me back.
It.
That takes me back to my early yoga years. And my teacher, I can't remember, I think she may have been Russian, just this, really powerhouse of a older Russian, yoga teacher. And at the end of the class, every class, she would do the Soham, the really elongated Soham, chant. I remember that now. Yeah, very interesting you bring that up. You're channeling her.
Yeah, no, it's the amount of synchronicity in all of this is quite apparent that we are in the right place at the right time to be able to collaborate like this.
And sociologically and all, there's the concept that big cultural change comes from the cities. I don't buy that. There's too much people. They have to move in alignment. And here we are spread out, we're far and wide, and there's room for everybody. From the Vietnam vets that just realized they couldn't be in mainstream culture anymore, that moved way out into the sticks to,
Yeah, there's a place for everyone in this. Nobody is excluded, and partly why this experience is so profound is really include everybody, everyone.
And we need each other.
Absolutely.
We must have each other.
Absolutely.
Speaking of needing each other, we have a caller, I believe, who wants to speak with you guys.
Outstanding.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to thank you so much for just what you're doing now. I don't know if I will be able to make it. I want so much to come to your event. My husband and I bought property here in 1971, and I love this place. I love what you're saying. It's the first time I've felt joyful in a year and 5 months since I lost my husband. So thank you so much for just being out there.
Thank you. My condolences.
We love
to
you.
We love you.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Yes. That's a nice little moment there. Oh.
Oh, and the boundless silence, the ever-present, and the abundance in the silence.
Oh.
And the connection, too, in the silence, too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We have some music that you brought, Tony?
Yes, definitely. This one song that the past couple of days I just recorded, it's a straight shot. It is a song that the Mahatma Gandhi used to sing during the time of the most turbulent time of India. He was trying to unite Hindus and Muslims together, and he got a lot of slack for doing it. And he changed the original song is different. He changed the words to include that some call you Ishvara and some call you Allah, but you're the same in everyone and every heart. So. It's a little bit of a let's say an extension of the universality that the Hindu culture presents, even though there's also a lot of stiffness around it, because we are people and we have few things that could limit us from being all inclusive. And also, this is just fresh off the press. So,
is this the phone or the
phone? That's the phone. Yeah.
Ram Ram Jaya Raja Ram 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 Jaya Raja Ram 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 Jaya Raja Ram 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 Jaya Sita Ram 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 Jaya Sita Ram Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ishvara Allah Tero Naam Ishvara Allah Tero Naam Ishvara Allah Tero Naam Sabko Sanmati De Bhagavan Sabko Sanmati De Bhagavan.
Well, thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Javi.
Final thoughts, gentlemen?
I would like to. I'd like to invite everybody. You're going to have a great time, have a fabulous meal, and a complete cultural experience. And one thing that my friend Tony here brings is that he speaks Arabic. It's his primary language, and it's time that we join together, different cultures, We join in the heart, and now is the time. Come on down.
Oh, and no
We
one
need
will
you.
be turned away. No one will be turned away.
Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Kayla, for this amazing platform and opportunity to just talk about the event and then break it all down and really talk about and give the opportunity for community and devotion and practice to come together.
We love you, K-Mud.
We love
do.
you, K-Mud.
We do. Absolutely.
Aho. And thanks, everyone. Until next time. This is Talking Chi with Javi. We were talking with Tony and Ranjit. We were talking about the Bhakti Fest, June 1st, noon to 8 at Beginnings. You can get tickets online at
TonyKhalifa.com.
TonyKhalifa.com or just show up and
Music.
TonyKhalifamusic.com or just show up and come for the fun, come for the people, come for the food, come for the devotion,
Bring cash.
bring cash, and happy transcendence from the mundane to you.
Hallelujah.
Oh, thank you, Javi.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Nityam dhyayanti yogina Kamadam mokshadam chaiva Om